Hey guys, it's Alan back here in the studio. I'm going to be showing you today how to do the black marble plus kit for our countertop epoxy. It's great. You can use it on tabletops, you can use it on countertops. There's tons of uses for it, so I'm going to do a couple different techniques. I'm going to do a little bit of freehand while also doing a little bit of a dirty pour, so we're going to see what's going on with that and how that turns out, which of course is going to be great. But I've already got my A and my B in here. I just got to mix it up, and then I'm going to divvy it out here. But first, let me go ahead and tell you what's in this kit. So you get 3 gallons of our countertop epoxy. You get our super colors, white and black, pretty dope colors. And then you get eye candy Japanese steel gray. You get the Bushido brown, which is awesome brown shimmery color, and then you get icicle. This kind of sets it off. You can do a number of little things with this. It's pretty dope. I'll show you a couple of things you can do with it later. Now, let's go ahead and get mixing because we're on the clock. All right, so we got this mixed up here already. What we did to prep the surface is we used a paint and primer that you can pick up from Lowe's or Home Depot. It's relatively affordable. You know, it's roughly $29.99 for a gallon. Real easy, paint it on. We always get flat black or flat white. They typically sell these primer sealer combos in white, so you can just take it to the counter and get them to put black pigment in it and it'll be just fine. It'll look like this. It's great, really easy, dries very quick. So let's talk about coverage. We've got 8 square feet here roughly, and if you wonder what kind of coverage you need, it's typically 3 to 5 for freehand, 3 to 5 ounces per square foot, 5 ounces being on the heavy side. And if you're doing a dirty pour or if you're using tape to create a dam, then you're talking like 5 to 8. I'm pretty heavy-handed. Until you kind of get a good grip on it, I would suggest going heavy-handed. If you have a question about how thick you want it to be on your surface, you can easily go to our Epoxy Calculator on superepoxysystems.com. It's right up there in our nav. You can go under support and toggle down, and it's right there. So let's get going. This is our black epoxy plus kit. So primarily, you want the color to be black, right? So we're gonna keep most of our product in here. That's gonna be black, but I'm gonna pour out some other stuff for some different colors so that we can play around with it, all right? All right, let's get going here. I'm just gonna pour a little bit in here. So this is real easy to do. You can upcycle, you could repurpose some things. It's really great to play with. I'm gonna start putting my colors in here. I'm gonna start with our white. I'm gonna do our black right here. Don't worry about over pigmenting this. You have to kind of get per volume up to about 10% colorant to epoxy. And that's a heck of a lot of material, so I wouldn't even be worried about that. All right, so we got our dipsticks. We're just gonna mix this color up. Super easy. Black takes no time. I mean, it's like ink black. All right, the white. Here we go. Extremely milky white. All these super colors are highly concentrated, so you're really gonna get a lot for a little. Let's go with icicle. This is Japanese steel gray. It's kind of like a dark, really dark gray, borderline on black, and goes well really with our super colors black. It's got a nice shimmer to it. Then we'll do the Bushido brown next. This color is pretty dope. It's gonna look really good in contrast with the black, the white, and a little bit of sparkle from that icicle. So the reason why right now I'm only mixing up just a little bit of the other colors is because I'm gonna pour a vein using this cup. I'm gonna pour a nice vein somewhere throughout it. But first, I'm gonna do it by freehand. I'm gonna pour a little black, a little white. I'm gonna do it by freehand so that it kind of gives more of a natural look to it instead of just doing a straight dirty pour. So I'm gonna use the dirty pour technique for an actual vein. So we'll see how that goes. So this is all ready to go. I'm gonna reserve some, obviously, but I'm gonna go ahead and pour some out here. All right, so I have quite a bit left, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna move this around so as to wet out this entire surface. I'm just gonna move it around. It'll self-level on its own. All right, so now that this is all like starting to level out, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna come through here with a little bit of white, and I'm just gonna place it around and then kind of touch it up by hand a little bit. So just gonna, you know what, that's not fast enough, so I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna put a streak there, maybe a little streak here, a little one here. So I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna just slowly work it in like that. So as you rub this in, right? As you rub this in, it's kind of fading out the white into the black, creating a little bit of gray. You can come in and layer up your colors, right? See how dark this is over here? You can start layering up your colors a little bit by just coming back through with the same white, right? So you're gonna have like low lights all the way up to highlights. And this helps to give you a ton of depth, a ton of depth. I'm not really moving it around a whole lot. So what that's doing is starting to build the structure of these veins. Drag a little dark into it, right? Also pull some white into this to connect over here, right? And I have zero plan for this, zero. I'm literally going at it and playing with it just from the start. That's it. So now maybe I'll come through with a little icicle. So I'm gonna do the same thing with that, right? That's gonna give some shimmer to it. Kind of help this thing pop. Maybe I spread my fingers apart, start from inside that vein and work it back in, around. Then I'm gonna put, just for a little bit more depth, I'm gonna go ahead and put some of this Japanese steel gray in here. All right, I'm going in with a little white as well. Again, see how I'm layering this stuff up. I'm gonna take an extra cup. I'm gonna pour a little bit of this. I'm just gonna pour it on the sides so it drips down, right? I'm gonna pour a little bit of black. some of this Bushido brown, some white, and you can mix and match this however you want. Japanese steel gray, Bushido brown. And now I just want to figure out, this is going to be my vein, right? I'm going to dirty pour my vein. So maybe you can let me know in the comments whether I did a crappy job or not, whether you liked it or not. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do it this way. Kind of follow this vein just a little bit to highlight it. Now I'm going to take these gloves off and we're going to hit this with a heat gun. We're going to pop all these bubbles and then let that start to tack up. And then after it tacks up, I'm going to check and see how loose it is here. If that epoxy is free flowing too fast when I do that, then I want to leave it until it just barely moves. Then I can pull that tape down and then let it flow over. And at that point, it's going to be gelled enough to where most of this is going to pretty much remain the same. You might get a little bit towards the edges, might kind of distort just a little bit, but your general overall design is going to stay. So let's hit this with a heat gun and we'll get back to it in a little bit and see where we're at. All right, thanks. All right, we're back. This is gelled up nicely. Came back about 35, 45 minutes later. It's ready to go. But what I was doing was, before this, I was looking at this and I was like, how am I gonna make it pop a little bit more? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back. Our epoxy is still a little gelled. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create some white highlights, which are really gonna pop this out. And that'll self-level right back into it. Clean this up a little bit, and then we're gonna go ahead, pull our tape. All right, now we're going. Just go ahead and rub the sides. Make sure that all of the sides, the tension's broken. That way it'll flow over evenly. The only thing left that you have to do is worry about these drips, these little icicles or whatever. There's two ways to deal with them. So first, you can wait till it actually stops dripping. So that means it's to the point in the gel phase where you can wipe it. It's still malleable. You can wipe it off or scrape it off, excuse me. You can use one of these. You're gonna work, say this is the edge up here, you're gonna work toe to heel inward, right? So you're gonna come along and you're gonna move this way, and then you're gonna pull out, you're gonna wipe off, start back again, and keep doing that. And once it stops dripping, you don't have to worry about it. You're taking them off, boom, 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 gone, done. Second way of dealing with it is wait till it's done dripping, wait till it's done curing, come back, and then take just a simple orbital sander, go underneath, blast it off with like 60 to 80 grit, and you're ready to roll too. So either way, it just depends on how you want to deal with it. If you don't want to come back to the job, then, you know, by all means, go ahead and take care of it when, you know, it's done dripping. If you have to come back to the job for whatever reason, you can just blast it the next day and then you're good to go. You can try one of these kits out. You can get them on Amazon or our website at superepoxysystems.com. Like I said, this is our Black Marble Plus Countertop Epoxy Kit. So if the Black Marble Plus really isn't the kit for you, we've got other colors on there. We've got whites, we've got various different earth tones. We've got some blues. We've got all sorts of different colors. So go over there and check us out. If you're a DIY person, you really like doing all these kinds of projects at home, you can update your kitchen countertops, your bathrooms. You can do your bathroom walls, your bathroom vanity. You can upcycle old furniture that you might have or find at garage sales, whatever. So we can't wait to see what you create. Make sure to tag us on socials, comment below, like us here, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.